is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. It is 4:27 on our Friday. Let's talk about some of our top stories before we get into the show today. Starting with not good news here in the state of Indiana. We get those numbers on the coronavirus from the health department. And yesterday we set a record for the number of new cases here in the state of Indiana. That was over 1,000 just reported yesterday. There was more than 12,000 people newly tested as well. So far we've had more than 71,000 total cases since the start of this pandemic. In terms of deaths, we'd have 6 new deaths and more than 2,800 deaths total. We also have a look at our hospital capacity. We'll have that coming up here on the show and see what the state of things is looking like across Indiana. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast because today is a little bit of a different day, a little bit of a transition day, Alyssa.
That's right.
It's been so cool, it almost feels like fall outside.
I know, and as you step outside today, the past couple mornings it's been very cool and dry. You're going to notice it's not quite as cool and dry. We're starting to build that humidity in a little bit. It's still not too bad out there, fairly comfortable today. Temperatures starting in the upper 50s this morning. As we head into the afternoon, we'll see those temperatures climbing just a smidge warmer. We'll be into the low 80s across the area. Could see some patchy fog developing this morning just as moisture starts to move up from the south. Besides that, though, expect plenty of sunshine for your Friday. Less cloud coverage than what we saw the past couple days and closer to average with those temperatures.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. We did have a deadly crash overnight we need to let you about. This was on the west side. A man died here near 465 and the Sam Jones Expressway. A van there hit a concrete wall. We don't know too many other details at this point, but we're going to continue to keep you updated as we learn more from this scene. We'll also have a look at traffic all around the metro area and central Indiana before you head out on the roads this Friday. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any issues. Something else we're taking a look at today is how businesses have been impacted by this pandemic. And we know that places like restaurants, a lot of them outside of Marion County, they're open to about 75% capacity. But for a number of businesses, they are still struggling. They had that time off where they weren't making any money. And then the 75% capacity is still causing issues. They're just trying to keep people employed, keep their businesses afloat. So Nicole Griffin talked to Courtney's Kitchen and the owner there up in Noblesville about what this has been like to try and rebound from this pandemic. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic coming right up here on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Any intention to sign a lease at this point in time is risky.
Time is running out on the state's eviction moratorium. This morning, why one business owner says the move will hurt struggling Hoosiers. Plus,
you want people to think about local when they decide to go out to eat, but a lot of people just aren't ready to go out at all.
Local businesses continue to struggle during this pandemic, and this morning the role creativity is playing for many local restaurants and other businesses. And a new project will give women hope for a better future. This morning, the effort centering on a man whose life is leaving a lasting impact. Before we get to our top stories today, I want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Alyssa Donovan joining me in studio today. And Alyssa, we have a look at the temperatures right now. Today, it is kind of a transition day back into what feels like August.
That's right. Today's going to feel a lot more like August. We are going to see those temperatures still a little bit below average this morning to start, but it won't feel as chilly outside, and that's just because we're starting to build in some of that more humid air from the south. That's going to impact us greater, though, as we head into the weekend. Right now, we're in the low 60s in Indianapolis, a little cooler to the north where we're hanging on to some of that cooler Canadian air that's dropped in throughout the past week. Temperatures will continue climbing quickly today because we are seeing mostly sunny skies. We could see a little bit of patchy fog develop this morning, and of course we'll let you know about that. Haven't seen any visibility issues just yet this morning, but I'll keep an eye on it for you. Clear skies to start. High pressure continues to be the controlling factor across the Midwest and across central Indiana today. What we're going to see is temperatures starting in the low 60s this morning, a mild day, and then we are going to warm up very quickly. We'll see highs into the low 80s. So so closer to where we should be this time of year. That humidity returns with a vengeance this weekend. I'll have those details in just a few minutes.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads at this early hour. This is I-70 at Sherman Drive. You can see traffic here is moving along up to speed both eastbound and westbound. No major issues to report on the east side at this hour. So let's take you up to the north side at I-465 and Meridian Street. Traffic in this area is pretty quiet this morning. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on any other issues that might slow you down. New from overnight, a man is dead following a crash on the city's west side. Firefighters on the scene tell WRTV6 that a man in his 30s was driving northbound on I-465 near Sam Jones Expressway when he crashed into the wall. The van traveled about 1/8 of a mile before stopping. This morning, investigators are still trying to figure out what caused that van to crash. At 4:32, Indiana's moratorium on evictions is slated to end next Friday. This morning, the thought of eviction protection ending has renters and small business owners worried. Morgan Roddy owns the Queer Chocolatier in Muncie, and her shop's been closed since the pandemic began. She says the weather is too warm to put chocolates in the mail, meaning that she won't be making chocolate for now. Roddy says ending the moratorium is only going to make things worse for those who've been struggling during this pandemic.
I don't know what the intention is in letting any sort of protections strip away from the vulnerable Hoosiers.
On Wednesday, Governor Holcomb announced a $15 million increase to the state's rental assistance program. At last check, more than 24,000 Hoosiers have applied for the program. The expiration date of the eviction moratorium is set for August 14th. It marks the date that landlords can file necessary paperwork to begin the process. You can learn more about rental assistance programs offered by the state and Marion County by downloading the RTV6 app. Restaurants are open again across central Indiana. In most cases, they're restricted to 75% capacity, but many we know are still struggling. So this morning, RTV6's Nicole Griffin is in Noblesville, where it's not business as usual.
Courtney's Kitchen here in Noblesville is now back open for dine-in services, and they have been for about 8 weeks now, but they were one of the few restaurants that did not reopen right away for dine-in when the state allowed them to. I talked to the co-owner here about some of the challenges and some of the positive moments they're facing during the pandemic.
We imagine the first year would be the hardest or most difficult for us, and with everything happening in the current situation, it's been a little more taxing.
Carrie Courtney says it was always her brother Cass's dream to open a restaurant. 10 years ago, the two made it a reality in downtown Noblesville.
I have everywhere from my dad is the breakfast cook, so that's why we only have breakfast on Saturdays, so that he can come in and do his breakfast cooking. My mom is a full-time worker through the week. My aunt makes all the homemade pies.
During the pandemic, the Courtney family is continuing to adapt to changes just to stay open. Curbside delivery and carryout is what pushed them through until now, but growing the business is still a daily challenge.
We're probably only hitting about 40% of our normal business. So that takes a hit. So you try to force yourself to be more creative and try to enact more things, but you can't, but you're so limited. You want people to think about local when they decide to go out to eat, but a lot of people just aren't ready to go out at all.
We want to get something to eat, so we're going to stop here at Courtney's and get some red tenderloins. It's my first time being here.
Tim Profit wants to support local businesses, but like others, he's still not quite ready to dine in, despite all the steps the restaurant is taking to keep people safe.
I think it's a lot safer to get carry out than it is going in and dining in and stuff like that.
Courtney says events getting canceled in Noblesville is also hurting business, but the restaurant's biggest fundraiser of the year, the Strut to Save Lives, is rescheduled for September.
That's something that we look forward to because it just brings back some normalcy. You know, we've lost so many events, and that's something that we can do safely regardless of the environment.
She hopes the event that is put on by the Indiana Donor Network and race car driver Brian Clausen's family has a good turnout, so this small local staple can keep its doors open and continue serving the community. Working for you in Noblesville, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Nicole, thank you. It is 4:36. Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its impact on the Hoosier State. On Thursday, Indiana is setting a new record in the number of cases reported in one day. State health officials report 1,051 new coronavirus cases. Since the pandemic began, more than 71,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. On Thursday, health officials also reported 6 new COVID-19 deaths in Indiana, meaning that since the pandemic began, more than 2,800 people have died from COVID-19 in our state. Taking a look now at the impact of the virus on state's hospitals. This morning, nearly 54% of the state's ICU beds are being used by non-COVID patients. COVID patients are using 14% of the beds. At this hour, nearly 33% of the ICU beds are available. This morning, nearly 82% of the ventilators in our state are still available. This morning, at least 10 high school students in Wayne County are under quarantine. It follows a staff member at Northeastern High School testing positive for COVID-19. In a statement, the Wayne County Health Department says it's been in close contact with the school to notify any staff member or student who's had close contact with the COVID-19 infected person. This morning, the FDA is loosening requirements for surgical masks, citing shortages. Nurses unions, governors, and other groups say they're struggling to get personal protective equipment for the frontline healthcare workers. The White House claims that the PPE supplies are adequate, but the FDA indicates otherwise. The agency issuing emergency authorization for certain disposal, single-use surgical masks in healthcare settings. The FDA warns that the loosened guidelines don't replace the need for FDA-cleared surgical masks and authorized respirators. This morning, police in Lafayette are trying to learn more about an incident leading to a man's death. The man was found lying on the road around 10 o'clock Thursday night near North 9th and Ferry Streets. The man was taken to the hospital where he later died. Police say that the man's death could be traffic related. If you have any information about what happened here, you're asked to call Lafayette Police. This morning, the IMPD officers involved in the deadly shooting of Mikhail Rose have returned to full duty status. 19-year-old Rose was killed in an exchange of gunfire with the officers while responding to a burglary call. This incident happened on May 7th, just hours after Drejon Reed was shot and killed by another IMPD officer in what police also say was an exchange of gunfire. Investigators are waiting for a decision from the Marion County Prosecutor's Office before turning the case over to IMPD's Firearms Review Board. IMPD Chief Randall Taylor says Rose may have been planning to ambush officers responding to that burglary call. Well, he was known to race fans as the priest in the pits, but Father Glenn O'Connor's bigger legacy is how he loved to help people, especially those who are struggling. So now his legacy will live on in a new home bearing his name on the city's west side. Ground was broken on the Father Glenn O'Connor home next to the Seeds of Hope near St. Joseph Catholic Church. Father Glenn led the effort to open Seeds of Hope in 1999 when he was the pastor at St. Joseph's. Seeds of Hope is a transitional home for women struggling with drug and alcoholic addiction.
There is no other name that would fit this home. We're going to build a 3-quarter house, and this house is where the ladies will live until they get a better footing, better equipped to be in the outside world.
The home will have 22 apartments, and it should be ready for its first occupants next summer.
No religion, no anything. Hurt the Bible, hurt God. He's against God.
This morning, faith and race dominating the race for the White House.
Unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
Coming up, the comments leading to an apology from former VP Joe Biden and the increased attacks coming from both candidates. Alyssa.
And those temperatures continuing to warm up as we head towards the weekend. Back close to average, still a little bit below as we hit our highs today, but much warmer over the next couple days. That humid air returns as well. I'll have your weekend forecast coming up.
Welcome back. This morning, police in Martin County are investigating a deadly shooting involving 2 young people. Police say the shooting happened on Wednesday near the town of Shoals. This morning, the surviving juvenile is in jail and preliminarily charged with reckless homicide. At this hour, police are trying to figure out what happened in the moments before the shooting. Now to the race for the White House. Joe Biden facing backlash for his comments about the black community. Meanwhile, President Trump's latest attack on Biden is being called deeply personal. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the details.
This morning, the topics of faith and race dominating the campaign trail with less than 3 months until the election. Presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden is clarifying his Thursday comments when he seemed to suggest the black community lacks diversity of thought.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Overnight, Biden said that he in no way meant to suggest the African American community is a monolith, not by identity, not on issues, not at all, adding that he was referring to diversity of attitudes among Latinos when it comes to immigration. President Trump calling the remark insulting.
What he said is incredible, and I don't know what's going on with him.
It's the second time since May that Biden is apologizing for a comment about race.
The way that he talks about race, at the very least, is problematic. And there's a lot of folks of color who listen to the way that this man speaks and say, this isn't someone who has really evolved with the times.
President Trump has a long history of divisive actions and racially charged remarks. He recently labeled Black Lives Matter a hate group and retweeted a supporter shouting the racist phrase, white power. And now Trump is attacking Biden's faith, claiming the former vice president is against God.
He's following the radical left agenda. No religion, no anything. Hurt the Bible, hurt God. He's against God. He's against guns.
Biden's campaign responding, saying Joe Biden's faith is at the core of who he is. Adding to the drama on the trail, Kanye West. The rapper once voiced his support for the president, but now claims he wants to run against him. ABC News has learned that Republican operatives are involved with the rapper's attempt to get on the ballot, possibly in an attempt to siphon votes away from Biden. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
Well, this morning, President Trump has made good on his threat to issue an executive order banning TikTok. The order says the video sharing social media app cannot operate in the U.S. for 45 days unless it's sold by its Chinese parent company. Microsoft has reportedly been in talks to purchase TikTok from ByteDance. Trump's order accuses TikTok of capturing information like location data and browsing histories from users. It goes on to say China's government could use that information to track federal employees that could later be used for blackmail. Meanwhile, Facebook just launched a new app on Instagram to compete with TikTok. Instagram Reels allows users to create 15-second video clips. You can add music and other visual effects. Users can share the videos on Instagram and the posts disappear in 24 hours. Reels can be found at the bottom of Instagram's camera feature. The new feature is being launched in more than 50 countries. At 4:46 this morning, 3 University of Louisville soccer players are off the team and they're suspended for having a party. The athletes organized the off-campus party Saturday night. It was later traced as a source of a spread for 29 COVID-19 cases. The move led to the school soccer teams, field hockey team, and volleyball team to cancel workouts. The 3 students kicked off the team had prior violations. Time now, 4:46. Let's get a check of our Friday forecast with Alyssa Donovan.
And we are in for a beautiful Friday. Those temperatures are going to be closer to average today. We're continuing that climb as we head towards the weekend, continuing that warm up. The good news with today, we're going to see a little bit more sunshine than we have the past couple days. Yesterday, we had some cloudy conditions by the afternoon as well as the day before. But that sunshine is also what's going to help us climb with those temperatures closer to our averages. So as we head into the weekend, that's when we start to see some changes. That humid air is returning to the forecast, and we're also going to see the potential of storms. We could see that as early as Saturday night. Our best chance of storms, though, comes in early next week to start our work week. Right now, temperatures are in the 60s this morning, so we've had some cool starts the past couple days. We're getting closer to average with those daytime starts as well. Humidity, not too bad yet. Winds out of the north about 3 miles per hour. So calm conditions, mild conditions to start, and we are seeing mostly clear skies across the area to start our day. Could see a little bit of patchy fog develop yet this morning, just as some of that moisture starts to move up from the south. And of course, I'll keep an eye on that for you and let you know if we see any of that development. High pressure is in control right now, and it's going to stay that way throughout today and into early tomorrow before we start to see those changes. That high pressure has kept us clear overnight, which is why we are seeing some cooler temperatures for areas to the north still, with those temperatures in the mid and lower 50s right around Kokomo and Paris. Peru. So some areas starting chilly yet this morning. But besides that, as we head through the day, sunny skies, not seeing a lot of cloud coverage at all today. And that's just due to that high pressure keeping things very calm and dry across our forecast area. Overnight, going to continue to see those clear skies once again. And then by tomorrow, that's when we're really going to start seeing those changes as that system moves up from the south. Today, our highs will creep into the low 80s, so getting closer to average. Typically, this time of year, we're in the mid 80s, so we'll be above that as we head into Monday. So we do have those changes on the way, and that's coming in the form of this system moving up from the south. We're going to see this warm and humid air move up. That's going to bring us that moisture again, so you are going to notice that as you step outside, especially on Saturday. We're going to see plenty of sun. It's going to be a gorgeous summer-like day, but that moisture is going to be in the air, so it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. So taking a look at the weekend, we're really going to see a split. Saturday is going to be fairly nice with just a little bit more humidity in the forecast, and then by Sunday we do have those chances of showers and thunderstorms returning. And just a small chance on Sunday. Our better chance of storms comes in on Monday, and then we're going to continue to see at least a chance of showers or storms as we head into next work week.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 4:49, and here's a look at traffic for your commute. I-465 in Brookville Road. This is over on the east side of town where traffic is very quiet this morning. We'll keep you updated on any major crashes or delays to slow down your commute. So the Pacers and Lakers meet this weekend, but first the blue and gold taking to the court against the Suns, hoping to keep their winning streak going.
Some of our parents are asking for more of a black and white. What can we expect if we are watching our trends go up?
Indiana's top educator talking about the challenges schools are facing right now and the worries from parents. Coming up at 5 o'clock, what she says it's going to take to stop COVID-19 from spreading in classrooms. And we're just hours away from the weekend. Make sure you know what the weather has in store. Get the hour-by-hour forecast wherever your plans take you on the Storm Shield app. It's available for free in your smartphone's marketplace. Here at 4:50, we'll be right back. Well, the Pacers continue life in the bubble. Their 8-game pre-playoff schedule rolled on Thursday afternoon, this time taking on the Phoenix Suns. Sports Director Dave First has the latest from Orlando.
Fourth game of the restart for the Pacers, hoping to stay undefeated. Same story, though, for Phoenix. 3-0 so far and trying to grab the 8th and final playoff spot in the West. And it was Phoenix first out of the gate. Ricky Rubio with 2 of his 13. Suns start the game on a 17-0 run. TJ Warren has been the NBA's star in this restart, averaging close to 40 points per game. Comes up with the steal in the finish as the Pacers climb within 9 at the time. Warren with a modest 16 on 7 of 20 shooting. Among those in the virtual seats for this one, Shaq. As the attack continued in the third, Malcolm Brogdon with the and one. He had a game-high 25. Pacers up 3 with 2 minutes left in the third. But Phoenix answers with an incredible 21-0 run. Cameron Payne providing most of the pain. He had 15 off the bench and hold pace after that. Indiana with their first loss in Orlando, 114-99. Victor Oladipo with 16 in the losing effort. A tough one for the blue and gold, who never really got on track.
I just didn't think that we had a flow all night long. That was both units. I didn't think that we established ourselves defensively. I thought more focus was on the offensive end of the floor tonight.
I think we're a little bit tired. We had a day off. I think guys have been taking care of their bodies, but this is a tough run that we're on, a lot of games in a short number of days. So we're going to do our best and try to continue to win games going into the playoffs.
Rough start. It was a little tough for us to come back from it, but in the end, I think this is good for us. I think that we needed to be humbled a little bit.
At the end of the day, it's about learning from it and just getting better. So, fortunately, we couldn't win today, but, we've been playing really well out here, and we just got to continue to keep building on that.
The Pacers with a day to regroup. They take on the Western Conference leading Lakers on Saturday. Day first, RTV 6 Sports.
We are in for a gorgeous day today, a little bit warmer than what we've saw the past couple days. Temperatures will continue climbing into the low 80s this afternoon. We'll see plenty of sunshine. More humidity returns to the forecast this weekend starting on Saturday. Saturday we'll see sunshine as well. Temperatures back to where they should be this time of year. And then a chance of showers and storms returns on Sunday.